So how old is this house?
I think it was built in the 1920s. Every room has a theme, and I have a Grand Ole Opry room. I love art, and I love things that belong to other people, things that have a story behind it. And the dining room's Mark Twain.
I saw that, Mark Twain.
And the kitchen is New Orleans. Bell Buckle is an art town. I try to support artists that are near here.
So Danielle wanted me to ask you about a piece by Tyree Guyton.
Oh, okay.
You know, you've been talking to her about it on the phone.
Yeah, it's right down there.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyree is an internationally known graffiti artist. He's got blocks and blocks of it in Detroit, of buildings called the Heidelberg Project. So he's known everywhere. He's in museums. And he adored Rosa Parks. I do too. And he bought a bus, same make, model, and year, that she rode on and wouldn't give up her seat. And he painted it graffiti. And he went to the seat she would have sat in, and he painted that on the back there of the seat where her back would be.
Yeah.
It called to me because I love Rosa Parks, and I love what she stood for and what she did for civil rights. Her having the guts to sit on that seat with the police saying, "Get up," and she wouldn't. I mean, the story behind it is priceless.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who was a big collector had it, and I kept looking at it every time I'd go visit him. One day I said, I gotta have it. And I made payments on it and finally paid it off, and he shipped it to me.
Danny has only seen this piece in pictures, but I'm seeing it firsthand in person. And to hear Maggie tell the story is epic. How long have you had it?
I've had lots of years, 10 or more.
So Danielle said you already turned down $1,500.
Yeah.
You know, you've been talking to her a lot. She obviously would like to have it. She understands how relevant it is. She understands the importance of the piece. She is a fan of his work. Would $2,000 buy it?
Oh, Lord. How about 25?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, she shared a lot with me about it, but she didn't share with me the ceiling of it.
Well, imagine if Rosa Parks, she actually sat in that seat.
Oh, it'd be priceless.
Yeah, it'd be priceless.
God, I enjoy you. And I appreciate you putting a number on it, and we're going to take it.
Oh, man,
All
great.
Right, $2,500.
Thank you, and I hope Danielle cherishes it, because I do.
She'll be beyond excited.
It's a one and only. I can put out some books I've written. That's the main reason I let it go, because I loved it.
All right, thank you guys so much.
All right.
Had so much fun.
Honey, y'all come anytime and see me.
All right, God bless you.
All right, thank you,
All
honey.
right, Danielle's gonna be so happy. Sometimes you meet people in your life that have such a bright light, it warms you and leaves you wanting more of their words and company. That was Maggie. See you down the road.
See ya. Bye-bye.
I hear you've got some amazing Dude Larson paintings, postcards.
Come here, I'll show you. Here we go. So as you can see, there's
Oh,
quite a
wow.
lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So as we kind of went through the place that we picked, we realized like there's just endless amounts of artwork in here.
Where did you get all this?
New Mexico.
I bought the entire estate of Dude Larson. He was a famous Western painter back in the late 30s, all through the 40s and the early 50s.
We want to do a deal with you. I just think we have to be at $10,000.
I'm a happy guy.
Okay.
Yeah!
10 grand? We're there?
We're there.
His stuff it's hard to find.
We were trying to find anything we could on his history, so I'm just glad to have you here, not only to tell us the value, but to also just give us a little bit of his story.
Dude Larson was part of an estate that I liquidated out of Woodland, California for his son. Whenever you have somebody's personal property and you're responsible for selling it, you have to know what you're selling. You have to absolutely have a value before you can even market it. He was just a really interesting guy. In 1933, his family had a ranch in Kanab, Utah. And him and his dad got busted for cattle wrestling. They went 50 miles away, and then they came down, and they had about 80 cattle altogether that didn't belong to them. They actually rebranded them.
Wow.
So yeah. So
that is the ultimate no-no.
Yeah,
anywhere. Yeah, that's crazy.
And authorities got involved, and so they took off on horseback, him and his dad, went down to a local gas station and borrowed a car at gunpoint. But the car unfortunately went off the road and his dad was fatally injured. And
Wow.
dude and him went to the hospital. His dad died in the hospital and he took off. He evaded the police for I don't know how long, I think at least 14 days. And then from there it just stops. So the next thing you hear about Dude Larson's, he's in Washington painting murals, probably through the WPA program, which is an important program that was to help beautify and create public works. There was a lot of painters that got their start through that program that the Roosevelts had started. And by 1940, he had not only come back, he had a thriving postcard business.
Okay, so he went from muralist to printing postcards. Why?
Well, he wasn't the best painter because his compositions were very flat and tight, but they were illustrative and they were energetic and they really captured Americana.
His art makes more sense on a postcard.
Yep, that's why he didn't sell his paintings, but they were perfect for cards. Not only that, there was a lot of postcard printing companies all over the place, and Germany was one of the biggest, but when World War I happened, they stopped that. There was tariffs put on, and so that killed part of the market, and then printing had changed, you know, and now you could take a card like this, and look how shiny, and this was printed in the 30s. It's gorgeous. And
Still beautiful.
that painting that's huge now is down and doesn't look so bad on a card. He never sold this artwork. There was no auction prices. This was only for postcards.
Okay, so basically this market opened up and he kind of saw an opportunity, possibly or
And
probably.
it's the cheapest way to communicate in the 30s for sure.
No kidding.
Yeah. So how many postcards do you have?
We have this box right here, which if you just pull the lid off of that one, you see how packed that is. And I have 4 more boxes just like it.
It was really exciting to see all this collection of dudes together. It's unique.
So what would these cards go for? What's a good price to sell them for?
Depends on the subject matter. The likely number for these is $5, okay? And then these ones here, $2 to $3.
Okay.
You know, one of the things that's gonna happen when you have that many cards is you're gonna flood the market. It's gonna take years to sell them. You have a lot more paintings here than I realized. I think that each one's gonna bring a different price. This is about an $800 painting. I did a lot of research and found that nobody knew anything about this guy, Dude Larson, except for his postcard side of his business. What are you gonna do with the paintings? Labs are always popular, but where you kind of lose it is there's this bad curtain in there.
No, I love the bad curtain and
Nevertheless,
the geese
this is at
too.
least a few $100s. This one here is definitely gonna bring some money just because of the subject matter, the Native Americans. So this one here I could easily see getting about $500 to $600 for.
Okay, great.
Based on the historical reference.
Yeah.
And actually it's a pretty good painting. Unfortunately, the paintings aren't as valuable as people would want them to be, but based on the history along with the cards that were produced from those paintings, that's a lot. That means a lot. Yep, there's about 13, and I'd say, you know, they're all gonna be different. So you got, these are different price than these, and of course, then the larger one. But I'd say you have about 3,500 to 4,000 max worth of paintings. In paintings, you have that.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
well, there's something to think on, right?
true, but you have the storyboards. These are amazing, and these were illustrated by Hoke, and then Dude usually did the funny part of it.
Okay.
You know, he wrote the poems, he wrote the verbiage. These were very popular. They always said something very edgy here, and he had way more edgy ones than this. How come you're through with Jim? I heard him tell Tom he tried ethyl in his car last night, so.
Ethyl gas.
Yeah, so. What makes them worth money is not only the content, but also if they're real. If there's pixels, and even way back then, you could see it under a loop. So you would just look real close and look for that, and I could tell you this is definitely done on watercolor paper and it's hand inked.
That's so exciting though.
Yeah. So remember, putting it in perspective, not worth a whole lot, but definitely these storyboards are gonna bring around $75 to $150 a piece.
So, okay. All right.
They're like a storyboard.
Okay.
You lay it out. I mean, there's not different scenes, but this is a scene that's going to get rendered down to a small card, and there's a lot of them here.
36.
If you were to round it to 100, and you have $3,600 is about what you can expect.
We're still coming in under what we paid for it.
But you have all the postcards.
Yeah.
And you said you had like 5 times this amount.
Yes.
So you have at least, what, 3,000 cards?
Could be more,
Okay.
could be less. I don't know the exact amount. I haven't counted them out, but we do have a lot.
I see about 5 to 7 grand in profit, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a profit
Yes.
over the next 20 years.
And sometimes, especially, you know, that's the way investments are, especially with art.
It is the way investments are, man. It's so frustrating. That's why Mike always told me from the very beginning, buy what you love, because you could get stuck with it.
You're gonna be looking at it for a while.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Matching these cards up with each and to show that provenance,
Yeah.
that's golden. You don't get that often.
I think it's still an incredible find. I'm still equally as thrilled to look at it as I was when we walked in the door.
It's an amazing collection.
No, this has been incredible. I really appreciate your time. That's everything
Hey,
right there.
I'm glad to be here, glad to help. You're welcome.
This is a painting of my dad's, actually.
There's so many different pieces. I mean, I'd love to buy them all. Oh, look at that. I'm not an art guy, but I am a car guy. And this is sexy. This is good stuff.
My dad, he loved cars. He was always into cars.
Oh, look at that. Wow, look at that Corvette.
As a child, I remember him telling me stories that when he was a kid, he actually wanted to be a car designer.
See that, Robbie?
Oh, a Cadillac.
Wow.
So that's an original he got to keep. And
This
then
is an original?
Yeah, that's an original.
That's a sled, man. Imagine that on the Vegas Strip back then. You look at it and you really think that it's a photograph. Look at that. It's a painting. It's a painting of a Cadillac. Oh wow, look at that. The early Blazer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Let me see this.
Blazer Chevy. That's one of my favorite cars of all time right there.
In the 1960s, photography is really what took down this part of the industry. It was seen as the future of advertising. They stopped painting, they stopped drawing. Photography was it. You see these, Robbie? Look at this.
I know, I saw that.
Super
SS.
Sport, 65 Impala.
I mean, think about all this stuff was done by hand. It's beautiful. It's from a time period that will never come again because everything is computer generated, but also it's a celebration of creativity. All right, so I'm looking at I like the Cadillac piece. I mean, it's really strong. Cadillac has always been collectible no matter what it is. You know, what are you thinking on something like that?
I would say that's about 1,800.
That's a retail number on it?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about? Okay, so if 1,800's retail, have you thought about like what you need to get out of something like that?
How about 14?
1,300 bucks.
That works.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I totally understand what a big deal it is for David to sell any of this artwork. His father had his hands in all of it. The fact that he's even letting me look at it and he's pricing it, it's an honor. And now, the Super Sport. All right, look at that. She's got the dog on her lap. She's going to looks like the Kentucky Derby. She's got the hat on. It's incredible. It's beautiful. What's the retail on this
Retail
one?
with something like that with, it's print ready, 2,000.
Okay, if this is 2,000, then what about the Corvair piece? I mean, it's very similar as far as size. It's got the typeset on it.
I would say 1,800 for the Corvair.
I'm thinking like 13 on the Corvair. You know, I mean, that's where I'd want to be on it. You were at $2 grand on this. I'd do like 14.
14 and 13, so 27. Yeah, we can do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
David's dad was one of the unsung heroes of the automotive industry.
That's all the artwork right there.
Usually when an artist passes, if they're known, their prices skyrocket because they're not going to create any more works of art.
We did it!
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My father unfortunately passed before that opportunity came to fruition. He's kind of unknown. He never got the big show.
Your dad, very talented man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Appreciate you.
Thanks. That's why I'm here today, is to fulfill this legacy and his dream to get his work out there.
Thank you!
All right, thank you.
Here we go. So it's obviously no secret that I like tattoos. A few years ago, I put the boys in touch with Bill Pogue, and they got to go out to his place, and they got to see all of his flash firsthand.
This is before they had copy machines, so the only way they could make multiple copies cheap was an architectural blueprint. You could take and trace them and make your flash.
Oh, okay.
So for me to be here right now, in person,
Well, you went right to Bert Grimm.
yeah, this is why I love my job. This is why I work so hard. This is why I'm here. Is it true that he tattooed Bonnie and Clyde?
That's the rumor, yeah.
That's the
you
rumor,
know all
right?
about him, yeah, and Pretty Boy Ford, yeah, you know that.
No way, really?
Yeah,
Where was he out of?
He was out of St. Louis for the longest time. Then he migrated west and went to the Long Beach Pike. Bert Grimm is one of the artists I collect. He had a distinctive style in that he would simplify stuff, make it clear you could read it from across the room. You could say, oh, that's a Bert Grimm. He refined tattoos and made them more of a graphic image. A lot of these date back, like this one at your feet, early piece, stamped at the bottom, like they just stamped tattoo, Chestnut Street, Long Beach.
Now, tattoo flash art's pretty simple to explain. It's basically really common tattoo art, and Joe Blow can walk in the door and be like, give me number 19 right there. This one right here is another Bert Grimm.
So that one
simple. It's so simple and so beautiful.
That was so talented.
How is it so captivating with just a few little lines,
You could
right?
count the lines, you're right, it's like Matisse.
I love watching Danielle in her element. She's beyond excited to look at this stuff.
Tom Berg.
Whew. You have a really pretty little collection here, don't you?
Thank you.
I'm knowledgeable, I appreciate it, but when I see her light up while she's talking about it, this is Danielle's world, and I'm just living in it right now.
Tell me about this one.
Okay, this is
Percy Waters.
Yes, by Percy Waters, Detroit. Tattoo artists would buy this, and then they'd take the blueprint and make a hard copy, make a stencil from it. So they're buying something they could reuse. It's never meant to be up on a wall or for a customer to see. It's for a tattoo supplier. He's a big supply guy. Most people in the American tattoo world are totally unschooled. People drew to better themselves, have a better job. A lot of them are carnies and circus people.
All right, tell me about this gorgeous piece.
Oh, this is great. It's George
so
Burchett.
heavy. Why is it so heavy?
Double-sided.
Oh, it's double-sided.
He jumped ship in, I think, 1890 when he was a young kid and got out of the Royal Navy and got everybody, the Queen Mother, he did Winston Churchill's mom. In the Victorian era, it was really popular to get like a butterfly or a small tattoo, or kings would get like dragons. And he was a guy, top English tattooist. He could really draw. I mean, the dragon's absolutely beautiful.
If you look at the lines on all of these ones, they're really like heavy lines, and the lines on here are so thin.
That's the difference, I think, between the American and the British. Like the Bert Grimms you're looking at, just a line, a simple line that would try to capture it. Well, this guy really put the detail in.
European style tattoo is so much more poetic, a little softer around the edges, whereas American tattoo, it's like a punch in the face. European tattoo artists definitely had more training than that carny American tattoo artist. Man, did they ever have that power pack flash.
You're saying it right, they had the heart.
Yeah.
It comes from your heart.
And they had all those primary colors just popping on that tattoo work too. It's incredible. The difference is incredible, and they're both beautiful.
You can really see it here.
I'm an American girl, and I'm a carny at heart.
Yeah, I go that way too. I love that.
Flash art was never meant to survive, so it's pretty unreal that any of these pieces still exist at all. So to find vintage tattoo flash, especially flash from really respected artists, is, I mean, it's a needle in a haystack. And then over here, I spotted this one from across the room. That's got to be Captain Jack Howard.
Yeah, it's Captain Jack Howard. You nailed it.
Look at the butterfly girl. Yep. Ooh, she's nice and thick.
Yep.
And the Buffalo Bill Cody.
1920s. He supposedly traveled with Buffalo Bill, but a lot of these guys say that, so there's no proof. But he's an Englishman. He lived on the Barbary Coast, San Francisco.
And he was supposed to have traveled with Buffalo Bill?
Yeah, Buffalo Bill Wild West show. Captain Jack Howard was part of that. And there's Annie Oakley in the piece at the bottom, which reinforces it.
Got your little Buffalo Bill poster right there, too.
Ties right in.
And we're from LeClaire, Iowa, so we love some Buffalo Bill there because, he had a homestead there.
Cool.
Wild Bill Cody. I'm from LeClaire. That was his homestead. And the fact that Captain Jack would have traveled with Wild Bill and would have traveled with Annie Oakley, and Annie Oakley is a personal hero of mine. This is Captain Jack's life and life story in one piece of flash. What about this piece? How would you price a piece like this?
It's up there. It's like $6,000. I know. But you're not going to see another.
$6,000, huh?
Yeah.
I'm hot. That made me sweaty. All right.
Wow, now I see why you're so interested in tattoos. Look at the heart on fire and the girl with the sailor skis. They're gorgeous. They look great on
Oliver
you.
Peck did both of those. Two of my favorites, for
now
sure.
I see why you love these, because they're on the wall, but you actually have them.
Do you have any?
No, I don't.
No tattoos, but you really love to collect the flash. What